Hello, hello, hello everyone, and anyone recognise this screen? Oh yes, that's right, we are back. We are in another episode of Perfect Date, because why wouldn't we be? It's a Wednesday after all. So let's take this lovely specimen here and find him a name. Not sure he really suits Chrissy? Or Doreen? Or Maureen, although I'm impressed that those names rhyme. Ruby? Andrew. Andrew? Could you be an Andrew? Yeah, we're gonna do it. Let's be an Andrew. And off we go. Straight in to chapter 3. It was a long boat journey. My legs are a bit wobbly as I make my way up the wooden jetty to meet the security guard who has come over to collect me. ID? I rummage about in my bag until I find the laminated security pass I was issued with on the mainland. Andrew! Look at that smile. He's gonna be a good egg, I can tell now. Come on then, follow me. I have to walk at quite a pace to keep up with him. He's not the social type, so we trek along in silence until we're in camp and outside a large tent. He's waiting for you in there. Glad to have you on board, Andrew. Shall we go through a few formalities and then call it a day so that you can get some rest before you start work properly tomorrow? Sounds good to me, sir. So first, shall we have a little refreshment? I have water, coffee, or something stronger perhaps? Whiskey? What shall we go for? Let's have some water. I'm parched. I'm parched. Do you have any water? There are natural springs all over the island, but we have the bottled kind too. The astonishment in this little face. A bottle of water would be great. I'm not too keen to start drinking from natural water sources until I'm sure they're not being used as cat urinals. We spend the next hour going through my kit. All typical stuff apart from my super gadget. It's called a catalogue, and it does all sorts of swanky things. Even plays music. I meet some of the local cats and learn how to scan them with it, which was a lot of fun. Finally, I'm shown to my tent and settle in for the night. While I'm unpacking, I find something very interesting under my bed. It's the personal journal of the previous research assistant, the one before me. As I read, I begin to discover that there is a lot more going on here than I was told about. It's hard to believe this stuff is true. Maybe the last researcher was prone to flights of fancy. Still, it makes great bedtime story material, and I stay up reading until my eyelids begin to close. In spite of my best efforts to read the end, I drift into a deep sleep. And which cat steals it? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Here we go. I wake with a start. I can hear the rustling of paper coming from the tent flap. It's a cat, with something in its mouth. It has the journal. Wait! I knew it. I knew they would steal it and deliberately get me scratched too. But it has run off into the night. I'm chasing the cat at full speed into the forest. I must get that book back. It has everything I need to know in it. Ah, not so sceptical now, are you? I start to feel woozy, and I realise too late that I've strayed into the danger zone. I'm going to be sick. I close my eyes tight and drop to my knees. Oh, Andrew, what have you done? Oh, it is the same kitty. I open my eyes. A calico cat is standing in front of me. It drops the journal from its mouth. I pass out. Oh, kitty. Why do they always send you? Why not send one of the others? It's going to be a bit weird trying to romance you when we know that you're the reason that everyone's dying, isn't it? Hello? Can you hear me? Are you okay? Here we go again. Move back a bit. Let them breathe. Has it been bitten? The Sphinx cat is standing over me, staring as I open my eyes. Yes, definitely bitten. Look at its hand. I bring my hand up to my face, and through my blurry vision I can make out several deep scratches and puncture marks. Rude. Rude. The cats watch me intently. Is this real? I saw something in the journal about kidnapping. Catnapping? Yeah! We're sorry, it was the only way. My head has begun to clear, and I realise that if I can talk to these cats, not only is it all true, but it's already too late. I have the sickness. We need to have a talk, human. No, we don't. I know what's going on. I've got the sickness, that's why I can hear you. What happens now? You're quite reasonable, Andrew. Whatever is this? That rather depends on you, human. So, are you going to help us or not? Well, again, we have no choice, do we? Well, of course I am. You need my help and I need yours if I'm going to find an antidote. Spoken like a true champion. Well, let's hope it's third time lucky. That should be more than likely. Unfortunately, the last one didn't get very far with discovering what happened to our friends. I mean, to be fair, the last one did better than the first one. They didn't make an antidote either. I think, with their notes to build on, I'm going to crack this. Well, I promise to give it my best shot at least. I have a suspicion that it is going to be your best shot, Andrew, but we're not going to crack it because why else would there be a couple more chapters to the game? Aha, see? Lateral thinking. Hurrah, says Trixie. Respect. Jolly good show. My catalogue starts beeping. But right now, I have to get to work. And off we go. Ready to start. I'm just about to enter the lab to begin my legitimate work when the catalogue beeps. A message without any contact information. What? That was very speedy. Didn't even click anything. I remember reading somewhere about messages in the journal, but I was so sleepy last night I don't recall what it was. I decided to ignore the mystery messenger for now, or I'll be late for work. Yeah, because clearly that's the important thing. Right, the professor is already working when I arrive, but it's not late, so there's no fuss. I get through the day as efficiently as possible and head back to my tent as soon as my work is done. I want to get to grips with finding out all I can as soon as possible. Well, let's see, shall we? I wonder if we'll get to find out what happened to that poor kitty from last time as well. The one with the scab. Also, 25% complete. Not bad hauls from the last two, if I do say so myself. Although, if there are going to be 6 of us, realistically we should be on 50% by the time we finish, so you better get cracking, hadn't you, Andrew? Let's see who we can romance, because that's the priority right now. We've got the choice of Snooty Booty or Trixie. Yes, and these two are gone because we have previously dated them both unsuccessfully. Let's go out. I think we should take Snooty Booty out. I mean, it has been a long time coming. She comes up every time and we've always ignored her. So come on, Snoots, let's do it. I'm splayed out like a starfish on the beach in my bathing clothes. It's a swelteringly hot day, and I find it hard to concentrate on my work, so here I am. I let the cool sea wash over my feet and legs as I lay back on the sand. I hear a long, loud sigh coming from somewhere nearby, and I sit up to see where it came from. Snooty Booty, in repose, under the shade of a palm tree, is looking about her with a concerned expression, one that I've never really seen a cat make before. I go over to her to see if I can help with something. Are you okay, Snooty Booty? She lets out another long, wistful sigh. To be quite frank with you, human, no, I am not okay. I cannot expose this delicate skin of mine to the sun, but there is something I need to retrieve from further down the beach. It's quite the predicament. Oh, right. Want me to fetch it for you? Oh, would you be so kind, human? I would be very grateful. Sure, it's no problem. We can't have you putting that delicate skin of yours at risk, can we? Especially not when you coated that delicate skin of yours in that weird cream last time. You know, that one that was going to grow tumours and cause blindness and things. Snooty Booty looks grave. Indeed not. Skincare must come above all else, don't you know? One must never expose one's skin to the elements, human. It really is quite ageing. One must also never get stressed if one wishes to retain one's youthful aura, which is rather difficult on this frightful island. Oh, I know, believe me. How do you know? Are you stressed? Oh no, that would upset me terribly. Really? That's sweet of you. Of course, you really are a precious thing. I do so hope you are finding your time here pleasant. Don't worry about me, Snooty Booty. I'm fine. Now, what was it you'd like me to get for you? Well, before I tell you, I must ask that you don't inform the others of the whereabouts of this particular item. It's really very dear to me, you see, and one of the few luxuries I have all to myself. Of course, that's no problem. I can be discreet when I need to be. I do hope so, human. You see, along the beach just south of here, there is a tree which bears the ripest of coconuts all year round. It is quite splendid. The coconuts are always so sweet and creamy. Snooty Booty looks as if she's lost in a wonderful dream. Sounds lovely? It is. I like to drink coconut water as often as I can, as it is so good for the skin and waistline, but the less civilised denizens of the island keep knocking the coconuts down before they're fully matured. Fortunately, no one else seems to have discovered this particular tree yet. Well, okay, Snooty Booty, I'll try to find some coconuts for you. I'll be back soon. You have my thanks, human. Okay, off we go. I've been walking for a lot longer than Snooty Booty led me to believe. I'm not sure if this is even the right tree. They all look the same to me, although this one does seem to have more coconuts than the others. I decide to take a chance and bundle up as many as I can carry in my arms and haul them back to her ladyship. By the time I get back to Snooty Booty, I'm faint from the exertion, not to mention walking so far in the sun. I fall to my knees, panting in front of her. Now if that doesn't show dedication, what does? Here you go, Boots! She eyes the pile with a distinct air of disapproval. I only needed one coconut, human. Oh, I mean, to be fair, Andrew, she did say that. These are far too many. Well, I do apologise, madame. Tell me, you didn't plunder the tree? No, there were plenty on the ground already, so... Oh, well that's a small mercy. At least you didn't hack them down. Hack them down? With what? Yeah, I would be quite impressed if you managed to hack them down with your bare hands, mate. Like, especially considering every research assistant seems to get savaged, like, all over their hands and legs within 10 minutes on the island. So yeah, if you could take out a tree, you'd be onto a winner, wouldn't you? Well, your hands are rather large and leathery. Rude. Snooty Booty, I do not use my hands for deforestation. Little smoke coming out of the ears. Well, I'm sure you did your very best, although I really don't know what I'm going to do with so many coconuts. You're welcome, I'm sure. I'll just have some coconuts. Sorted. I look down at the pile of coconuts. It strikes me properly for the first time how strange it is that there are no creatures on the island to plunder them. What do you think it is, Snoots, that keeps wildlife away from the island? Do you mean the magnetic barrier? Magnetic barrier? Oh, do keep up, human. I thought you were meant to be a scientist. I realise she must be referring to the force field that surrounds the island. Now, be a dear and crack one open for me. With my enormous hands? Well, you could try, I suppose. I push down the irritation that is slowly rising in me and smile politely. On second thoughts, I'll be right back with a screwdriver. You're a better egg than I, Andrew. A what? Snooty Booty looks horrified. It's a sharp metal tool that bores into things. What on earth do you need one of those for? So that I can make a hole to get the water out of the coconut. How else would you propose I do it? Well, look around you, dear. Look at nature's bounties. What about that? Snooty gestures with a limp paw at a shard of rock nearby. Snoots, how do you usually get the water out of the coconut when there isn't a human around? Well, the exuberant Kibbles simply loves to break things. Had you not noticed? It's one of the few reasons I tolerate him, don't you know? Far better than one of your scroll dribblers, don't you think? I'm not convinced, because if he breaks it, surely he must just smash it into things, which means surely there's a lot of wastage as all the juice goes on the floor, which is the bit you want. So maybe we're right, Snooty, with our screwdriver. I reach over and pick up the rock. It does look like it could actually do the job. Okay, let's give it a try. Here goes. Holding the coconut in a palm leaf, I gently tap the shell a few times with the stone before finally whacking it. It cracks open surprisingly easily, and the water drains into the leaf. There now, see how nature provides, human? Yep, again, you're welcome. Quite. Snooty Booty stretches her neck, and then upper body towards the leaf, She sticks her tongue out as far as it can go before raising her big eyes to me. I can't quite seem to... I suddenly realise what she's getting at. I mean, on one hand, maybe she should just get up because she's being a lazy little sod. But on the other hand, I feel like she's kind of used to it and kind of likes the pampering. And we are trying to successfully romance a cat for once, so maybe we should help? We've done everything else for her. I mean, what's one more thing? I let her struggle for a moment or two before I begin to feel a little bit like a child pulling the wings of a fly. She can't help the way she is. You seem to be struggling a little, Boots. Well, you've placed my libations slightly out of reach. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to help? Bring it a little closer, perhaps? Well, of course I would, human. Are you being deliberately obtuse? I would very much like to help you, Snoots, but you make it rather difficult. How? I don't understand. I've been perfectly clear in my instruction. You see, I am under a spell. It's a very powerful one, which prevents me from following any instructions, unless accompanied by some magic words. Oh, would you care to enlighten me? Well, it would go something like this. Please, human, would you mind passing me my libation? Thank you very much. There is a pause, during which I'm not really sure what Snooty Booty is thinking. Suddenly, the Sphinx erupts into peals of laughter. I seem to have forgotten my manners. Please do be so kind, human. I would be most obliged. Oh, go on then. I nudge the leaf closer to her, and she delicately laps at it. I truly am indebted. Many thanks. That looks delicious. Snooty agrees without taking a break. You know, searching for those coconuts was thirsty work. I'm sure it was. She's still lapping at the water. Coughs. My throat's a bit scratchy, especially in this heat. Snooty Booty finally comes up for air. Quite. That's the beauty of the coconut, you see. So hydrating. And most palatable, too. You really ought to try it sometime. I look down at the now dry palm leaf. Yes, that's a good idea, Boots. And the very best thing after drinking coconut water is to curl up and have a nap, you know. Beauty sleep is most important. Oh, is that so? Indeed, human. I suppose you have other things to do now? Well... Snooty Booty yawns and closes her eyes. I suppose I do. Sweet dreams, princess. She snores softly in reply. I can't tell if we were successful or not, but I want to say we were. Who knows? Who knows? Let's go on a recon mission, shall we? I assume we have some available. Yes, we do. Number 2, probing the workers. There's been a shipment of supplies delivered and I have to help get it all unloaded. Maybe I can get some info while I'm there. Why not? Let's try. See what we can learn. I've been asked to help with the loading and unloading of supplies today. This suits me because I've been itching for the chance to talk to the ferryman and his son. I'm curious to see if they have any useful bits of info that might help me in my quest to find out the real story of this island. Be very careful, they're a little bit trigger happy, those two. The boat only comes once a week and every other weekend. The weekend deliveries are all of the good things, food, mail, treats, etc., and the mood is always light-hearted. These midweek trips, on the other hand, are strictly work-related and tend to be very early morning when we're all a bit grumpy, or late at night when we're all overtired. Today, it's so early that the light has only just broken. Zane and I are waiting down on the jetty. They're late. Really? It's only 5 minutes. Bob's never late. It must be quite a long trip, though, to the mainland. You'd expect at least 5, maybe 10 minutes either way. Bob's never late. I remember that Zane isn't one for chit-chat, so I keep quiet and wait. Thankfully, it isn't long. I can hear the sound of the boat's engine before I can see it, since the morning mist hasn't been burned off by the sun yet. Zane straightens up, and suddenly they're here, emerging from the mists like a ghost ship. They've been doing this so long that it only takes them minutes to dock and tie off before we're stepping aboard. Right? Right. Another man of few words. I nod to Bob's son Joe, and he nods back. I'd guess we're the same age, but he's huge! Problems? A few extra crates, held us up 5 minutes. Okay, me and Bob will do the shifting, you two do the stacking. Until we come back with the outgoing, you stay aboard and sort out the incoming. Got that, Brainy? He's looking at me. Brainy? I'm totally excited that Zane has given me a nickname, but a little crushed that the nickname is Brainy. Why? That's a pretty awesome nickname. It's like Pinky. Pinky and the brain, 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 brain. You would always think the brain was the best one. Anywho. Sure, you bring him, we fling him. You're not going to keep Brainy with, like, rhymes like that. I see that I'm the only one grinning like a fool. Joe knows what to do. You do as you're told. Okay. They're gone before I can say anything else. Joe has already started loading up the dolly with incoming crates. He's clearly an old hand at this. You look like you've been doing this your whole life. Family business? Move those crates there. They need to go off next. He's sidestepped my question, but I'm not sure if it's deliberate, so I try a different tack. You don't go to college then, Joe? Nope. I'm not getting anywhere with this, so I changed to something less personal. Zane said you're never late, which is pretty impressive, considering how far you had to come. This is like pulling teeth. How far is it exactly? Quite far. Oh really? And do you stop anywhere else en route, or are we your only drop-off? And suddenly, Joe has stopped what he's doing and is standing toe-to-toe with me, locked onto my eyes so that I can't look away. You have a lot of questions in you. My suggestion would be to keep them there on the inside. Don't do no good poking your nose into other people's business. Yeah, because your business is killing us. Duh. Ugh. I'm shocked by his bluntness. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I was just making small talk. See, now you're making him sad. You live with all them cats. Learn from them. Isn't that part of the reason you shoot us? Because we like the cats? My heart beats faster. I think he's going to tell me something. What? All cats know. Curiosity kills them. He starts to laugh out loud. I just stand with my mouth open, not sure how to respond. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? And he laughs even harder. I'm feeling creeped out, and I'm really relieved to hear the two older men returning. Yeah, he wasn't very nice. Everything alright here? They have the crates to be loaded onto the boat. What's up with you, Brainy? You look a bit wobbly. Not got your sea legs yet? We were playing cat and mouse, Dad. Bob turns sharply on his son and shuts him up with a look. You don't want to mind him. He doesn't mean no harm. Best take what he says with a pinch of salt. I see a look perhaps between him and Zane, and get the feeling there's a lot more going on here than I understand. You need to get back now, Brainy. We can take it from here. I want to ask to stay, to be given another chance, but all three men are looking at me and I just turn and slink away. Weird. Very strange. Yeah, there's definitely something going on. Okay, what about now? Let's go see if we can't go out with Snooty Booty again. I do love the little glitters that appear, and like her lovely little smile. Okay, where are you going to take us, Snoots? Snooty Booty? Snoots? I've been searching for the Sphinx for what feels like ages. For a cat that never seems to move, she's surprisingly difficult to find. I am answered, eventually, by an unintelligible murmur coming from the shade of a nearby tree. Of course, she's sleeping. Sounds like she's got a pretty good life, really. Naps. Not much else. Why not? Snooty Booty! I poke at her gently to try and rouse her. I have something for you. A gift, as it happens. Oh, human, it's you. Whatever you're doing up and about at this time. It's midday, Boots. Snooty snares up at me, uncomprehendingly. I'm with Boots on this one. If I didn't have to get up till midday, I wouldn't. I have an hour for lunch, and I came to spend it with you, but if it's not a convenient time, I could always find something else to do. Wait, you mentioned a gift? Well, yes, I suppose. I had the idea when we were drinking. Well, when you were drinking from the coconut. I fetched for you the other day. I took some of the remaining coconuts over to the lab and cooked up some coconut oil. Snooty Booty opens her mouth wide. I sit awkwardly staring at her, unsure what exactly she's doing. Well, I'm ready to break my fast, human. It's hard sometimes to know whether to laugh or spit with this spoiled feline. No, Boots, this isn't for eating. You mentioned how good drinking coconut water is for you, so I thought you might like some coconut oil to rub into your skin, keep you moisturised and youthful. Aren't you terribly clever? I do try. I mean, some would call me brainy. Ha ha ha. I can't help but blush. Snooty Booty rarely compliments anyone, so I feel honoured. You may begin. Snooty Booty lolls onto her back, exposing her plump pink tummy to me. Oh, you want me to rub it in for you? Snooty Booty simply smiles in response. Well, a please wouldn't go amiss. Yes, well, I didn't want to make a fuss, but I would prefer it if you asked first. I sigh. There's not much point in arguing with Princess Snooty Booty. I don't think she actually means to be rude. Sometimes she just doesn't seem to understand how to talk to people as equals. I don't have the energy to deal with it today, but I make a note that at some point she and I are going to have a little chat about etiquette. Please, may I rub this coconut oil into your skin? Yes, you may. I pour some of the pungent liquid into the palm of my hand and rub it together with the other. I have no idea what I'm doing, as I've never massaged anyone before, but I work along the lines of putting sun cream on a friend. As I touch the warm, loose skin on Snooty's primordial pouch, I'm struck by how delicate she really is, and I try to be as gentle as possible. Okay, primordial pouch might be the best description for stomach that I've ever heard. Is that okay? You're very skillful with your hands, human. Okay. I do so wish I had those thumb things. They seem so useful. They're quite handy, to be honest. But paws are cool too. Well, I'm glad you think so, because you'll have one in a few weeks at this rate. Snooty Booty lazily inspects one of her paws. Do my paws next, will you? Snooty's skin is reacting well to the treatment and has become shiny and pliant. I see the good it's doing. I move on to massage her paws, but am quite taken aback by the length of her claws. Oh my, Boots! Your claws are really quite long. Don't you use a scratch post or anything? A what? You know, something abrasive to file them on? Whatever for? Well, it's part of being a cat, really. Stops them from catching on things. Snooty Booty is peering at me with one judgmental eye open. Caught on what exactly? Oh, I don't know, Snoots. Don't worry about it, I'm sure it's fine. Oh no, do go on, I'm intrigued. You seem to be implying that there is a degree of neglect in my grooming. I would never dare to imply that, Snoots. No, I most certainly am not. You are by far the most high-maintenance, highly groomed cat I've ever seen. In fact, you are the perfect example of a sphinx. I'm a what? Sphinx? She's trying to get me to say perfect again. It's hard to keep my face straight. Absolutely perfect, Snoots. And you're an expert. Well, I wouldn't call myself that, but I have been reading up on sphinx cats, and you have all the characteristics for pedigree. It's very sweet of you to say so. Remind me, what would those be? Caw! She really is, trying, isn't she? Desperate for affection. Right, well. Screw it. We've said all these nice things already, and she's, rolling on her back loving us, so let's flatter her. That seems sensible. Plus, if I can't remember what's in the book anyway, then how can I really be accurate? Well, let's see. I have a feeling Snooty Booty would not appreciate some of the common qualities of a sphinx, including wrinkles and potbellies, so I decided to cherry-pick and dress it up a little bit. Sphinx cats are well known for their beautiful big eyes and high, prominent cheekbones. Snooty Booty extends her neck and widens her eyes. She also appears to suck in her cheeks, which gives her the look of someone who's not wearing their dentures. It's very disconcerting. Oh, imagine dentures for a cat. That must be gross. Ugh. Little bits of kitty kibble stuck in... Yeah, no. Onwards. And they have a very shapely physique. This isn't strictly true. Sphinxes tend to be quite muscular, but something tells me Snooty Booty wouldn't approve of that description. She has now extended her entire body into what looks like a yoga stretch. I see, go on. Their skin is soft, buttery. This is sort of true, because they don't have fur to soak up excess oils. Sphinx cats can become quite greasy. It is recommended that they be patted down with a cloth as part of their regular grooming. I'm listening. And, they're very regal. Regal? I'm not sure where that word came from, but Snooty Booty seems to enjoy it. Maybe it came from the fact that she's a complete and utter princess. Well, well, human, it seems you have a vast and accurate knowledge of my kind. I'm rather impressed with you. Ooh, that sounds positive. I blush. It's not often that she gives out compliments, but when she does, it makes you feel $1 million. Thank you, Snoots. Which prompts me to take what you were saying about my claws far more seriously. Do you think you ought to tend to them? In what way? The length? I believe you were suggesting they ought to be trimmed? I wasn't saying that, but I don't think it's such a bad idea. Perhaps I could help you with that. A manicure? What a marvellous idea! Let's say tomorrow, same time, same place. Well, if I can get away. I feel like she's played me. She has done well, to be fair. You really are most kind. Thank you, human. And with those few words, my heart is a puddle at her feet. So what you're saying, Andrew, is that you like to be manipulated by animals. I was going to say fluffy creatures, but she's not even fluffy. It says a lot, really. Anyway, onwards! What should we do next? I think we should do a spot of research. Oh no, actually, I'm lying. We have 1 heart left, so we're going for a nap. Let's hope it's a nice one. There are waves crashing. The sound is so loud, I can't make myself be heard, but I still scream to the life raft that's moving away from the sinking ship. I'm going down with this ship. I'm being thrashed against the sides of the old wooden vessel. This isn't right. The ship looks wrong. Oh my god. A cat's face looms close up to mine. Everything is wrong. All of it. Yeah. This right here. This is not normal. That is weird. I'm a cute little mouse though. Which cat are you? But the words come out of my mouth as mewling, and I realise I'm not myself. I'm some kind of beast. Suddenly I'm flying. I'm in the claws of some enormous bird. The beating wings are deafening. I look down to the ground, approaching really fast. That's a rather large paw. You can drop through the break? What does that mean? What break? What break? I like this green kitty over here. That's rather nice. Breakfast! Rise and shine! Oh, hello. What's going on? That was very strange. You don't often get brought breakfast. Not by Mrs. Marigold, no less. Anyway, now let's do some research. That seems appropriate. Okay, so what are we doing today? It looks like we are doing research number 1. Special subject. The professor has assigned me to work on a special subject. I wonder what he means by that. Hopefully, something nicer than some of the old subjects, because that whole grow your fur thing was really weird. Right. Andrew, I have a very important job for you today. It's quite a tricky one, but you've proven yourself to be very capable, and I'm certain you can handle it. Follow me, I have a little lady I'd like you to meet. I have no idea what we did to prove ourselves capable, because we were pretty bad at moving boxes. We haven't really done much science, so... But I'm taking it. The professor leads me to the research lab in the forest, but instead of going in, he takes me to an area around the back. This is our brave little nugget, Ravenpaw. She has to be isolated over here, don't you, Missy? The professor reaches into the cage, which is stood on a table, and picks up the tiny black cat that's sleeping inside. Such a good girl, aren't you? We can keep her here, away from the others, because the poor thing is very unwell. Can you see this nasty rash? Number 1, no. Number 2, look at those gorgeous eyes. One of each colour. You're like a split magnificence. Is it a chimera if you have one eye of each colour? Might be. I think it is, but, you know, don't trust me. Ask somebody. Professor Pawpaw holds out one of the cat's paws for me to inspect. It's red and swollen. Ravenpaw looks at me with her big, watery eyes, one blue, one brown. They're probably watering because of the medication she's on, but it makes us look as if she's pleading with me. Oh, bless. She doesn't seem to be able to eat without assistance either, poor thing. We've been treating her as best we can, but I'm not sure if she'll make it. Perhaps not even to the end of the week. No, we are going to look after you. The Professor lets out a sad sigh. I have my fingers crossed, though. We don't give up on any of these cats. Do we, Ravenpaw? No, we don't. We're going to try and get you all better. She's such a pretty cat, her eyes are. Look at all these little hearts. Enchanting, aren't they? She's a very pretty cat indeed, and she knows it too. You can tell. You know what a pretty little thing you are, don't you? I reach out to stroke Ravenpaw, but she struggles away from my hand. She's getting cranky. I think we've kept Grumpy Pants here awake for long enough. He puts her gently back into the cage and locks it shut. Ravenpaw seems to fall asleep instantly. I hope I didn't distress her. Of course not, Andrew. She's usually very wary of humans before she gets to know them. When I first found the poor thing on the beach, she almost scratched my eyes out, in spite of the terribly fragile state she was in. The Professor smiles at the memory. Such a little trooper. She was half dead at first. She's gotten a lot better since then. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see her pull through this. And yet you said she might not make the week. Make up your mind, mate. Don't speculate both ways. It's distressing. I do hope so, Professor. Quite. Now, the reason I've brought you here is because, regrettably, I won't be able to see Ravenpaw personally any longer. It's a pity, as she is so used to me now, but there's nothing for it. I have been given an extra workload recently, and I need to share out a few of my odd jobs to accommodate it. I thought you would be the ideal person to look after Ravenpaw for me. I'm taken aback that the Professor has trusted me with such responsibility. It's quite flattering, until I remember that he doesn't have much choice, me being the only assistant on the island. Every day she requires a change of dressing, a dose of medication, some cream rubbed into her rashes, and a syringe full of some nutrient milk. This can be quite distressing for her, so I'd like someone with a nice and patient manner to take over from me. Would you be interested, Andrew? Of course, sir. I'd love to help out in any way I can. That's what I'm here for. Oh, splendid. I am so glad. I think you and Ravenpaw will get along famously before too long. She has such a sweet nature. I look forward to it, sir. Could you start now? Oh, of course. Tip-top. I'll be in the lab if you need me for anything. Please don't be afraid to give me a shout. I'm terribly sorry to burden you with this so suddenly, but I have a lot of work to do right now. Okay, Professor. I feel a little apprehensive as I watch Professor Pawpaw retreat into the lab. I didn't realise I'd be expected to do everything right now, without training or anything. I remind myself that this isn't like an ordinary lab back home. I must try to adapt to the higgledy-piggledy way things are done around here. I take a deep breath. Change her dressing. I can do that. Hello, pretty kitty. I'm very sorry, but I have to disturb you. The small cat lets out a sad mew as I lift her out of the cage. Oh, I know. Life is unfair. Now, where are your dressings? I put Ravenpaw next to the cage on the table. She lays down compliantly. She obviously knows the routine. She has a large bandage on the side of her ribs. I begin to gently remove it, trying hard not to pull on her skin too much. Well, I suppose if we're going to be doing this every day, we might as well get to know each other, right? So, hello, my name is Andrew, and I'm quite new here. I know your name already. Ravenpaw. Nice name. I bet the Professor named you. He certainly knows how to pick them, doesn't he? The cat tenses as I remove the last of the plaster and reveal a scar on a patch of bare skin, where the Professor has shaved her for surgery. Oh dear, that scar looks very tender. I should clean it. Is that right, Ravenpaw? Let me look. There are some drawers under the table, and I quickly find some antiseptic gel and cotton pads. Now, Ravenpaw, I'm going to level with you. This is going to sting a bit, but please don't take it out on me. I'm doing this for your own good, okay? Trust me, you do not want this scar to get infected. That would be disastrous. The cat stays perfectly still while I wipe at her scar. She doesn't even make a sound. I have to say, I'm impressed and a little disquieted. Wow, you are a brave girl, aren't you? Well done. When I was a child, I cut my arm on some thorns and had to have an antiseptic put on it. As I remember, I screamed the house down. I carefully put on a clean bandage, trying hard not to stick it to her fur. I suppose the medication comes next, doesn't it? What do we have here? I look through the drawers and find a box of pre-filled syringes labelled catatonic. That doesn't sound good. Oh, I presumed you'd be taking tablets, but of course, the professor said you have trouble with solids, don't you? Poor thing. Okay, same thing as last time. Don't shoot the injector. Do we have to? It sounds really sad. Catatonic, you know, that's like sleepy and... like she is. Maybe it's the medicine. Maybe he's making her this way. Conspiracy. I hold the skin on the back of Ravenpaw's neck tight and go to inject it quickly to get it over with, but the syringe is stiff and it takes a lot longer than I'd expected. Again, the little cat makes no response, doesn't move a muscle, almost as if she can't feel it. Well, shouldn't you have, like, checked the syringe before you did it? Because that way you'd be squeezing a little bit out and not leaving any air in it, and... yeah, I don't know. What do I know? Good girl. Gosh, you are so tough. You know, I bet you and McMurphy would get on like a house on fire. Ravenpaw's ears prick up as if she's heard a rattlesnake. McMurphy is one of the coolest people. I mean, I was a little wary at first, but he has that Irish charm that's so hard to resist. The tiny cat's head spins to look up at me. How do you know he's Irish? She talks! Oh my gosh! My heart lurches into my throat. Have you got it? You have, haven't you? You're sick. You've got the sickness. I have a million questions running through my head, but I am unable to speak. Listen to me, human. You must help me. I suddenly jolt to my senses. I'm trying to help you, Ravenpaw. Please, don't use the cream on me. It burns. It has given me these red patches. I know it hurts, but I have to rub it into your wounds. Those red patches will get dry and itchy and even infected otherwise. No, please, I beg you, human. That stuff doesn't help. It doesn't. It hurts. I know it feels that way, but it's helping you, I promise. The professor has been caring for you so thoroughly since he found you. I'd get the sack if your treatment went downhill now. No, I think I'm with the cat. Like, I think the professor's doing this. It's all the medicine. That man has only ever hurt me. I'm taken aback. The professor cares for you very much and only wants to get you better. The cat turns her face away as if she's given up hope. It pulls at my heartstrings and I pause for a moment. We made this mistake once before, where we put that cream on that gorgeous kitty, and it didn't help. I'm gonna stop it. Okay, I'm taking a big leap here. I'm going to give you 5 days without this cream, and if I see any deterioration in your condition, it's back to a strict regime for you, Missy, and no complaints. Deal? Thank you, human. Aww. That's so cute. I hope she gets better. Right, and we unlocked Research 3. Magical. Okay, so 3 hearts left. Let's go see Snooty. See what we can get up to. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, look at this! It's no longer little question marks, it's Ravenpaw. Oh, I can't wait to go and see little Ravenpaw. Sorry, I love you too, Snoots. But Ravenpaw? Ah! Right, anyway, date number 3. Where are you going to go with us, Snooty? To the beach as normal? To the beach as normal? Hey, Snoots, fancy seeing you here. Really? But this is my spot, human. I'm often to be found here. I let go, because I'm so excited about what I've brought. Pick a hand. I hold my fists out in front of Snooty Booty. Oh, a game! How merry! She stretches out her paw in the direction of my left hand. Ta-da! I open it to reveal a piece of coarse stone that I cut up in the lab. Oh, what a lovely rock you have there. It's coarse stone. I thought it could work well as a nail file. What a clever thing you are. That's not even the best bit. Look. I open the other fist to reveal my fantastic find. Oh my, what is that thing? It's nail polish. I found it in the lab. Oh my gosh, we are really going to give this cat a manicure. I have no idea who it could belong to, and honestly I don't like to think too much about it, but I figured I could borrow it for one short hour without anyone missing it. And it looks like it's just your colour. I squint at the bottom of the bottle. It's called Desire? Ah, you get hearts for all the cats, don't you, Andrew? I raised my eyebrows at the Sphinx. Oh, nail polish, you say? Show me, human. She suddenly seems much more interested. I thought I could try giving you a salon-style manicure, befitting a lady. Most sweet of you. Now, shall we sort the snacks and drinks first? Oh, well, I came straight from work, so I really didn't... Oh, never mind. It won't take you more than a moment to fetch a coconut, and then we shall begin. I can't believe I'm actually doing her bidding. You have to hand it to her. That air of entitlement certainly gets her what she wants. Yeah, 'cause I'm a sucker. That's why. I'm back quickly, and I'm out of breath. Within minutes, we settle into our session. Tell me if this feels at all uncomfortable, Snoots. I've never done this before, so guidance would be most helpful. It's surprisingly satisfying. I can see why other cats might engage in the process of scratching at trees and rocks. I've always thought they were hunting for termites like little scavengers. Ha 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 ha. Next foot. I have finished her hind legs and I am on the final front paw. This stone works really well. Did I tell you how I cut it in the lab? I don't believe you did. So, how does this nail polish work? Is it like paint? I ignore her rudeness. Exactly. Paint it on and wait for it to dry. I've never painted someone's nail before, so this will be a new experience for the both of us. I open the bottle and make the first stroke. Try to keep as still as possible. I think you'll find I am statuesque in my stillness. Your hand is less so. I know, sorry. Your nails are just so tiny. I'm trying to colour within the lines. What lines? Never mind, it's a human thing, I guess. I'm not sure I care for the smell of this nail polish. Really? I quite like it. Reminds me of pear drops. Of what? Oh, sorry, another human thing. Wow, look though. Your paws look fantastic. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that's pretty awesome, that. The long, sleek talons are glinting shiny red in the sunlight. Thought, though, how the heck did you get the cat to, lie still with all four paws in the air and not get any sand stuck to the nail polish while it was drying, and not smudge it? Questions, eh? Oh my, I am spectacular! And now she has little hearts. She extends her claws momentarily and presses them into my arm. Not enough to puncture the skin, but if I tried to move it would hurt. For the first time, I appreciate what lethal weapons they could be. I must keep that in mind. So, come on then. I take out my catalogue. Come on what? Pose for the camera. And now we're doing a fashion shoot with a cat. Of course. Oh goodness, I hadn't realised this was going to be a photographic session also. How exciting! Yes, well, I'm going to have to remove that varnish before I go, so I thought it would be nice for you to have a photo. Remove it? Why do I have to remove it? The Sphinx cat looks appalled. Whatever for? Oh Snoots, I'm sorry, didn't I say? I can't leave it on you permanently. It would impede the natural retraction of your claws. How thick a layer did you put on? Because I'm pretty sure a thin layer would be alright, wouldn't it? But then I don't know much about cats, to be fair. Then I shall leave them extended. You can't do that. Her expression darkens. I beg your pardon? I thought for a moment I heard you tell me what I can't do. Surely I was mistaken. I mean... We're going to end up compromising with her, aren't we? Because we're trying to stay on her good side. And she is going to savage us if we, don't compromise. No, Snoots, you heard me perfectly well. I must insist that you allow me to remove it. Maybe we can just put it back on tomorrow. Insist? Her forehead wrinkles with her raised eyebrow. I need to tread carefully here. Ask your permission. Please may I remove the varnish now? But it simply does not make sense. Why do it in the first place? I know how much you enjoy things like this. Pampering. I thought it would be a fun thing for us to share. You had fun, didn't you? Well, yes. But I certainly wouldn't have had I known you were simply doing it to taunt me. I wasn't doing it to taunt you, Boots. She seems genuinely upset. I'm sorry. There was an awkward little standoff. Her eyeing the rubbing alcohol, me eyeing her claws. I racked my brains to think of a way to compromise with her. Perhaps if I tried appealing to her sense of style? I wonder if you'd like to try something. I don't know why I didn't do it in the first place, actually. I'm so forgetful sometimes. You're wittering. Well, just before I came to the island, there was a craze sweeping the fashion world. I can tell her I've caught her attention. I read about it in a Bon Vivant magazine. Go on. It's a French thing, apparently. Snooty Booty cocks her head to the side. It's called, the Pinky Flick? Flèche Rose. She's going for it. I feel encouraged. I'm thinking on my feet. All the celebrities are doing it. Doing what? Having their pinky nail painted while the other nails are left natural. Just one nail? She looks intrigued. Yes, it really does look so striking and à la mode. Show me? Bullseye. I go to take Snooty's paw in mine, but she snatches it away. Oh no, show me. I pause, uncertain of what she means. Then the penny drops. She wants me to paint my own pinky nail with desire. Oh, gladly. I suppose I should have expected Snooty Booty to attempt to groom me at some point. Here goes. I swipe some of that bright red nail polish on my left pinky. What do you think? Looks à la mode, right? I hold my pinky finger to the corner of my mouth coyly. Are you flirting with a cat? But then I suppose that's what this whole game's about. Forget that question. Well, I suppose it does look rather fetching. I'll make a deal with you, human. I will wear my nails à la mode if you promise to keep yours painted for the rest of your stay here. It's a deal! I doubt that such a tiny amount of varnish will cause her too much harm. It will come off naturally quite soon anyway. Mine, on the other hand, is going to be more permanent. I can't wait to explain this to Professor Purrfect. Well, just tell him it's, a fashion choice, darling. There's no rules on it, right? Okay, so, what are we going to do today? Did we have any other recon missions? Let's have a little look in here. We've got Recon 6. Intercepting mail. I can't stop thinking about those important fragrant pink letters Zane mentioned. I've got to get my hands on one. Okay. Let's do it. Steal some mail. I run through the sequence one more time. I know it by heart, but I'm nervous. I've been watching long enough to be sure that the routine is just like clockwork, no deviations. Well, apart from one, and I've made that work for me. So, the boat arrives at 1300 hours. Zane, always alone, talks to the older man, Bob, who hands over the post, while the younger of the two, Joe, loads up the dolly with boxes of supplies. Zane puts the envelopes, never more than 3, into the breast pocket of his jacket. That solves the mystery of why he always overdresses whenever the boat comes in. He then wheels the dolly to the mess tents and unloads the food supplies, then to the lab and unloads the medical supplies, then to the storage hut where he unloads the remaining packages and leaves the dolly. Next, he goes to Professor Purrfect's tent. If the professor is in, he hands over 2 of the envelopes, keeping the third, his puzzler, in his jacket pocket. If, however, the professor isn't in his tent, Zane makes his way back down to his chair on the dock, drapes his jacket over the back of it, and spends the afternoon on his puzzles before going back again, in the evening, to deliver the professor's mail. He never lets the envelopes out of his jacket pocket, or the jacket out of his sight, so my only opportunity would be to pickpocket the security guard when he takes his jacket off, but that relies on Professor Purrfect not being in his tent. Luckily, I've ensured, with the help of my feline friends, that the professor will be held up during his out-of-grounds inspection. Usually, Purrfect just meanders around the inner perimeter of the base area and checks that all is well. Most days, everything is, but today, Kibbles and Trixie have staged a little rumpus that will engage him for just enough time to miss Zane's delivery. Sneaky! He is, of course, sat in his usual place, jacket draped over his chair. Hi there, Zane. 127. I suppose we're on first-name terms now. I have a little something for you. Zane frowns, but does not look at me. His eyes are instead, where they always are, on his crossword. I've made you a puzzle. He eyes me sceptically. A crossword, to be exact. It's pretty tricky if I do say so myself. I created the puzzle using all of the cat's general knowledge. Major and McMurphy thought of some particularly treacherous teasers, while Kibbles and Trixie offered some great obscure pop culture questions. Snooty Booty was mostly just trying to get cat treats out of my pocket. Sounds about right, really. I hand the paper to Zane, who's still frowning. This Dick's having a whale of a time. Is this a joke? Oh, it gets harder. Zane peers over the crossword. Why did you make this for me? Well, you know how bored I get, and I like you, Zane. Zane breaks into the first smile I've seen on his face, although small and slightly uncomfortable looking. I don't have anything for you. Yes, he's warming to me. This plan is going spiffingly. Oh, don't worry about that. All I want is for you to complete it. I make my hands into a heart shape while Zane is distracted. I feel stupid, but McMurphy insisted that would be for my signal for him to strike, and sure enough, along he sleeks, cool as anything. He winds his feline body between Zane's legs, unnoticed. Zane's tongue is now sticking out, and his shoulders are hunched in concentration. You stuck already? I dart to look at McMurphy to get ready to make his move. He throws me a disconcerting wink. It's not that hard, just this one about the archetypal counterpart to yandere. Oh yes, that's quite niche. Thanks for that one, Kibbles. While I engage Zane, I can see that McMurphy has already reached up, as though stretching against the chair, and nudged his nose into the inside breast pocket of the jacket. Sneaky cat, this one. Oi, shoo, get out of it! Oh my gosh, look how red he is. Oh my. I see McMurphy scamper off and my heart sinks. Anyway, I'll check back later, see how you're getting on with it. Zane grunts in response. I walk back dejectedly to where McMurphy and I had agreed to meet after our mission was over, and suddenly my spirits lift at the sight of a little pink corner peeking out from under the designated rock. He did it! McMurphy, you're a star! There's no end to my talents. I snatch up the envelope, say goodbye to McMurphy, and head to the privacy of my tent. What a legend. Fabulous little kitty. I examine my trophy while the kettle boils. I'm touched by the pretty pink envelope and delicate fragrance, and suddenly feel embarrassed. Am I prying into the professor's love life? What has gotten into me, getting notions of secret goings-on and subterfuge? They're there. I am utterly convinced that they are there. I'm about to put the letter back when I'm overwhelmed by curiosity. I wonder who the professor's secret love could be. What are they like? Woman? Man? Other? Cat? Before I can contain myself, I have steamed open the flap and am peeking inside. I mean, you stole it already, you might as well bloomin' have a look, mightn't you? It's not at all what I expect, and my previous suspicions come flooding back. This paper is in stark contrast to the pretty pink wrapping. It's a typed message on white paper. Percival, I have been informed of your latest subject. I would rather hear about such things from you personally. It would not be wise to take my silence for authorization. Please keep this in mind for future transactions. I will let this indiscretion slide, but if it is ever repeated, I will have no choice but to deal with you the way I dealt with 124. As for the project, Case Study 6 is asthenic. Please act accordingly. P103 has been unsuccessful. Void any further investigation. Lab 09 has received the newest batch, protocol to begin on the 8th. Finally, I trust your new assistant has arrived and is proving to be more helpful than the previous one. We seem to have had a run of bad luck in that particular area. As you know, I do not abide bad luck and will expect a reversal of fortune post-haste. Faithfully yours, 7. I knew it! They are up to something. They are poisoning the cats. That is what is occurring here. My days. Ugh. Right. Should we go out with Snooty Booty? Oh no, one heart, we're going for a sleep. Then we can go out with Snooty Booty. Trixie and Kibbles have brought me to the ridge where the pools of colour water collect. We call them the rainbow pools. It's a beautiful day and there's a vivid rainbow across the sky. Kibbles is over the other side from me, shouting. Wow, look at this! Come over here! He sounds further away than he is. My hearing isn't quite right, but I don't mind. What is it? You need to see it. Suddenly I'm beside him. He's looking over the edge of the cliffs, and when I look down, the sea is further away than I expect. It's such a long way down. Do you see? And I feel a push from behind. And as I begin to fall, I hear Trixie laugh. Curiosity did what? And I'm not falling at all. I'm floating, light as a feather. Fly, little bird, fly away home. This is the best feeling ever. I'm going higher now, up towards the rainbow. I'm going to touch it. Mind you don't get scorched by the sun. I feel myself being shaken. Humi, you really ought to go in now. It's too hot out here to sleep. And I was dreaming. I'm on the patch of scrub grass beside my tent. I was just having a moment of shut-eye in the sun, but I must have fallen asleep. Oh, thank you, Trixie. I smile at the calico cat as I surreptitiously scratch at the prickly heat on my legs. What a muppet. Should know better than to sleep in the sun. It's not good for you. Right, now we can go out with Trix. And by that I mean Snooty Booty. I have just realised what I'm talking about. Okay. Anywhere different this time, Snooty? Or back to the beach? Back to the beach. Be a dear, would you? Snooty Booty is in the habit now of holding out a limp, manicured paw for me to massage. I resignedly oblige. Oh, do you know, that reminds me. I have something for you. Something for me? Oh, look at you with your mouth agape. Do close it. You'll embarrass us both. I'm sorry, I just didn't expect you'd ever think of me when I'm not with you. Ah, you do make me laugh, human. Oh my, are you serious? Well, I'll have you know I think of you a great deal. You are my most faithful subject, don't you know? Now, if you want your gift, carry me further down the beach and I'll show you where I hid it. Cradling the hairless cat like a baby, I stroll barefoot along the beach. Snooty Booty directs me with a wave of her paw every now and then. After a while, she loudly commands that I stop and put her down. Here, Snooty says with her regular level of enthusiasm, pointing a perfectly filed claw at a mound of sand. I buried it. I suppose you want me to dig it up then, eh, Boots? Ha, you always know what to say to make me laugh, human. It's quite a talent, I tell you. With a sigh, I start digging. Thankfully, she didn't bury it very deep, and after a few seconds I find a small object wrapped in a silk scarf. We wouldn't want sand getting into it, now would we? Snooty Booty says with a small smile. I carefully open the flimsy silk bundle and turn the contents over in my hands. It's a little black tub with a plain label stuck to it that says Skin Cream P103. Oh my gosh, P103 was in that pink letter, right? That's a bad thing? Who knows? I think it is. Do you love it? What is it? Oh dear, can you not read? Yes, it says skin cream, but I don't know exactly what that entails. Oh, you see, one massages skin cream into one's skin. Yes, I understand that, Boots, but whose is this? Where did you find it? Well, it's yours now, human. I roll my eyes and further inspect the tub. It's very small and plain, with no cosmetic logo or name to be found. I pop open the plastic lid, and sure enough, it's full to the brim with goop. I scoop some out with my index finger and smell it. It smells disgusting, like bin juice or something. That's not a selling point. Boots, I can't put this on my skin. I'll attract all sorts of bugs and wildlife. Oh, come now, we must suffer for our beauty, mustn't we? What is in this stuff? Booty, where did you get it from? All I ask is that you try some on your skin and tell me you don't see instant results. Oh, Snooty, have you been using this stuff? Of course. Without knowing where it's come from. But I know exactly where it's come from. Well then, will you please let me in on the secret? Oh, calm down, human. You will give yourself more wrinkles. Let us take a moment to ponder how my generosity in giving you a thoughtful gift has developed into you interrogating me in such a brutish manner. I take a deep breath. Snooty Booty, I do apologise, and I thank you sincerely. Of course, I am touched by your generosity and consideration. However, I am also quite concerned for your welfare. Did you take this thing from the lab? Oh, no, not at all. Thank goodness. I took it from the stockpile behind the lab, where the fire pits are. You mean the incinerators? Snooty, did you take this from the toxic waste bins? I have no idea what they're called, but they routinely give forth the most incredible produce. Waste is indeed a fitting word. I think you'll find toxic as the objective word in the title, Snoots. The contents of those bins are meant to be burned. But why are they burning skin cream? I further scrutinise the tub and conclude that it really is some kind of beauty project. This makes no sense. Oh, but it does! It does! Actually, Princess, this is a fantastic present, and I'm going to take it right now for further examination. Thank you so much for this. Well, finally, a little gratitude. I'm very grateful. Well, you can report back to me with how splendid you look after a few applications. Oh, I will. One thing though, Snooty. Just to be clear, have you been using this? I have. Please don't throw me in the water again. And no problems? As you can see, human, my skin is as smooth and clear as porcelain. Yes, so why incinerate it? Speak up, human, you're mumbling. Nothing, Snooty. I just need your word that you will not use any more products that you find near the lab again, okay? Oh, I see your game, human. You want to be the fairest of them all, eh? No, that's not it. Very well, human. I shall go au naturel for a while, but you will see how, without even a touch of skin cream. I'm still as radiant as a star. Okay then, Snooty. Challenge accepted. Indeed. Okay. A little bit weird, but yeah, I'm convinced I'm onto this. He's definitely poisoning the cats in this huge big conspiracy through, like, products and stuff. And that unlocked us another piece of recon. So, maybe we should do that. We are making some good progress, I see. Almost 35%. Technically, we were supposed to be on, like, 50 by the end of this little run, right? Yes, I'm worried about the skin cream. We were on 25 when we started, so if we've made it to 37, we're on to a pretty good track for actually finishing this game, right? How does Snooty Booty keep finding experimental cosmetics? We're on an island in the middle of nowhere. It makes no sense. And this one from the incinerator, no less? I decided to run some tests on it. Snooty Booty developed some nasty welts after using this cream. I want to see what it's made from. I have a feeling this is not something the professor would want me to be poking around in, so I've come to the lab late at night to make sure I don't get any unwanted attention. Ooh, nighttime trip to the lab. Right. I'm quickly able to identify a number of common, natural skincare ingredients like shea butter and chamomile, but there are some other components that I can't immediately identify. I checked for cat saliva. Maybe we're looking at the same kind of product as the stuff Snooty Booty found washed up on the beach, but no match. I run the sample through the database of organic compounds to see if there are other matches. As I suspected, this cream uses some other cat-based ingredients. This time, it looks like cat urine is being used. That's gross, and probably explains the smell somewhat. I'd better not share that little discovery with Snooty Booty. I decide to check for any clues out by the incinerators. Maybe I can find a little more about where these things are coming from. At the back of the tent area are a couple of large pits that are for the disposal of harmful waste from the lab. There's nothing incinerating right now, so I can dig around a little in the smouldering ashes. Sounds safe. I'm tentatively moving the debris around with a stick. So far it just seems to be soot and cinders, no clues. Suddenly, the silence is disrupted by the sound of someone entering the lab. I make myself scarce by crawling around the far side of a nearby bush. As luck would have it, I happen to have ended up at an ideal vantage point to be able to see into the lab, through a gap in the canvas. That's very convenient. Oh, it's the professor. And the shooty men. Terrible. Right. 2 men enter with a large crate. I recognise them as the ferryman and his son. Professor Purrfect is with them. He directs them to place the crate on the worktop. The professor reaches in and brings out a small tub that looks identical to the one Snooty Booty found. My guess is that this is the next batch in for testing. Oh gosh. The professor stops what he's doing abruptly and looks at his catalogue. I presume he's receiving a phone call. He dismisses the 2 men with a wave of his hand. As soon as they're gone, he turns his attention to the catalogue. He looks anxious as he speaks. Yes, they've just been delivered. I shall make a start, first thing tomorrow morning. Yes, madame. I certainly will, madame. With all due respect, I do understand the urgency, but I'm sure you understand the need for thoroughness. I can assure you it will be ready for the deadline. Testing on sample 104 is going far more smoothly than 103. The improvements are very encouraging. There is a long silence. From the expression on his face, I imagine he is being lectured. It's very important to cross-check it with data here. The island itself has a significant effect on the samples. We still have some tests left to do. We are making progress, of course. I shall let you know straight away. The call ends abruptly. Presumably, Madame cut him off. He looks angrier than I've ever seen him. He marches out of the lab and heads off in the direction of his tent. I sneak away from the bushes and head back to my own tent. I can continue with my investigations another time. Okay. Well, that's not something we're going to uncover overnight, is it? Should we do another spot of research? That seems like a sensible plan to me. What are we going to research today? Do we get to go and see that beautiful kitty? I've been warned that despite their small size, these kittens eat like horses. I'm sure I can handle it though. No, we are on feeding duty. Okay. Treats all round, yeah? It's too early. The world isn't meant to be seen before 7 o'clock. These early mornings are still a shock to me, but I'm hitting my stride quicker. I like to get the kittens fed and cleaned out before my breakfast. It's easier to do it before the rest of the camp is awake, as there are less distractions. I prefer the mush, and my stomach turns at the milky smell so early in the day. I get the swab tray ready and grab a handful of kitty treats. So I've been reliably informed that cats actually shouldn't be drinking cow milk. Fun fact. Hello, babies! I peer into the cage of the sleeping kittens. So cute! They're just waking up and ready for breakfast. I do a quick head count. 12, good. No one tunneled out in the night. Come on then, let's get you swabbed and fed. Om nom 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 nom. I grab the first sleepy kitten, no more than a ball of fluff, and as it opens its mouth to yawn, I dart in with the swab, bottle it, and onto the next furball. You're getting good at this. Oh, hello, Trixie. Oh, Trix, you're up early. Going to bed late, actually. Impressive. I keep swabbing, and in no time I've got all 12 little cats into the feeding cage and have begun cleaning out the sleeping area. Ah, cute. How long will they stay here for? I'm not sure. Generally they're kept here for about 10 weeks, and then some are released back into the wild immediately, but some are moved to be examined further. I'm still getting the hang of how it all works around here. It's a shame that they aren't all released, isn't it? Yes, I suppose so, but they'll all be released eventually, just some later than others. You think so? Well, yes, unless they're very poorly, like Ravenpaw. Aww. Trixie winces at the mention of the black cat's name. Very few of those kittens actually get released into the wild, Andrew. What do you mean? Of course they do, as long as they're healthy. Oh wow, and you know this, do you? You release them yourself. I'm telling you, Andrew, don't trust Purr. Don't. This is all a conspiracy. Well, no, but Professor Purrfect told me that the kittens get discharged between 10 and 12 weeks. Oh, I see. Trixie smiles, but it looks fake. Trixie's onto this. She understands. If I were you, I'd tag one of this litter. Oh no, they're too young for tagging. You have to wait until they're at least 12 weeks. That one over there, he looks very healthy. I'm sure if you tagged him, you'd be able to see for yourself what happens to the healthy kittens. As I go to answer, I hear the breakfast bell in the distance. Oh, Cinderella has to fly. And the calico cat is gone as quickly as she appeared. Come on then, kitties, let's get you back into your nice clean cage. I can't help but think about what Trixie has said. She seemed genuinely concerned, and there must be some basis for that. After all, she's been here a lot longer than me. Maybe tagging one of these kittens wouldn't be such a bad idea. What would be the harm? Oh gosh, so I'm entirely on Trixie's side, but I'm also a little concerned that tagging the cat prior to 12 weeks might cause him harm. But I'm going with Trixie, because I think she's right. Come on then, back to... Before I even finish my sentence, my hand has grabbed the chipping pen and I've tagged the plump grey male. Probably silly, but it won't harm you, and it could teach me something useful. Okay, well, so long as it won't harm him, I'm all aboard. Oh, and we've unlocked Research 7. Interesting. Right, what is up next? I think it's nap time, because we're on our last heart. Nap, go out with Snoots, and then do our last research. All complete. You had a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalised. That's my favourite kind of nap. Your energy has been restored. Magic. I'd love a nap. Be a massive treat, really. Been a while since I've had one. Right, off we go. Where we gonna go, Snooty? Ooh, the beach at night. Oh, look at these little hearts. Ah, the delicacy of a moment is sometimes only matched by the beauty of the moonlight's reflection on the sea. Snooty Booty turns her big, shining silver eyes up to meet mine. Human. I have lived a long life, and only the first of 9, don't you know. It has been much the same, for as far back as my fragile memory reaches. Seeing the moon reflected on the sea would once mean only that I had stayed awake too long, and that I shall see that same shade of grey reflected in the circles under my eyes the next day. However, seeing how you conduct yourself, human, with the grace of a drunken fruit fly, and yet the confidence of a red-bottomed mandrill, has left me quite inspired. You do not care one bit about how you look. This is quite poetic, isn't it? I subtly try to comb my hair with my fingers as Snooty Booty turns her attention back to the moon. I have found, since meeting you, that when one cares less about one's appearance, one finds the capacity to care more about other things. Is that so, Boots? Quite so, human. Indeed, I have found it rather freeing to bathe in salt water, something which not long ago would have caused me to turn grey with anxiety. In the same vein, I feel I am owed some thanks for teaching you a thing or two about proper skincare. Snooty, your demand that I use a night cream caused me to break out in hives. But once they subsided, you were left with a very healthy glow. I'm not sure that's quite how it works. I sigh. Andrew? Yes, Snooty Booty? I think that's the first time she's ever used my name and not called me human. We're on to a winner. There is a poem that I half remember. The words have become irrelevant, but the sentiment is so enduring that it is almost enough to cause me to weep at the thought of it. Music is also like that, don't you find? And smell? All of the senses, in fact, are the palette that colours our experiences and leaves an indelible mark on the soul. That's beautiful. Human, I believe you and I are both aesthetes? I have no idea how you say that word. We're what? Andrew's on my page. We share an artist's appreciation of the séduisant. And again, what? Really, do try to keep up. I can tell I'm somewhat spoiling a mood here, so I keep my mouth shut and try to look engaged. I have suffered on this godforsaken island, from the lack of many things, but nothing has quite matched the pain of feeling alone, not having a companion to share the more delicate sensibilities that life has to offer. An alluring scent, a vibrant hue, an Epicurean delight, all the subtle joys that are wasted on our more uncivilized cohabitants. It has been like air to my suffocation, sharing time with you, human. Why, Snoots, thank you. I enjoy our time together too. And so... She ploughs on, as though I am an interruption. I feel that together, you and I might create something rather wonderful. Have I succeeded at romancing a kitty? Oh? A masterpiece. Oh, right, a masterpiece. Out of what? Out of us, human. A union, a joining together of souls. I don't know. A marriage of hearts and minds. Are you saying what I think you're saying, Snooty? I'm saying that I'm fond of you, enough to give me cause to believe that we may be able to commit to each other in the time-honoured tradition of love, human. Aww. Oh, wow. Of course we love you too. We succeeded! Yay! I love you too. I'm amazed. What you're saying is more than I could have hoped for. To be fair, she said it in a damn poetic way, and I am supremely impressed. So it is agreed, human. You shall dote on me as my equal from now on. Absolutely. I'm 100% about the doting. Snooty will definitely keep that part of this agreement. I'm a little more suspicious about the equal part somehow, but as we sit together, admiring the huge orange moon, I feel quietly confident that she will learn with time and a patient teacher. Aww. Oh, that is so sweet. Ah, right, well, looks like it's time for our last piece of research. Let's do it. I am ready. Here goes nothing. Research number 7. Professor Purrfect says we'll be testing some experimental medicines today. I just hope I have the stomach for it. Well, let's see, shall we? I arrive at the lab a little later than usual today. I got held up by the incredibly important task of petting all the cats I saw on the way in. Really crucial stuff. I'd have done the same. As I enter, I see a large unmarked wooden box on the table. Morning, Professor. I wasn't expecting you to be working alongside me today. I'm not, I'm afraid. I'm actually in rather a hurry, but I needed to explain to you a new protocol I'd like you to carry out for me. Are we going to have to put that cream on the cats? He opens the lid of the crate, and inside are rows of small clear bottles, each containing white fluid. What's this? Milk? No, these are samples from our offshore lab. Samples of what? So many questions. Curiosity is a marvellous trait for a scientist. Now, I want you to run some tests on these. I want you to check how they respond to contact with compounds 16, 18 and 24. Okay, this is better than I thought it was going to be. I notice how deftly he evaded my question. See, Andrew? See the conspiracy! Once you've done that, provided there are no complications, I'll need you to apply the sample to some of the cats and record the results. Once you've done that, provided there are no complications, I'll need you to apply the sample to some of the cats and record the results. Ah, well, there we are, back to damaging the cats. I beg your pardon? Apply the sample to the cats, Andrew. We're looking for specific reactions. Of course, sir, but oughtn't I have a little more information before I start applying an untested product to a living subject? Yes. Yes, you should. Look, Andrew, I understand your concerns, of course I do. However, once in a while one has to trim the red tape, and this is one of those occasions. Now, I really am in a most awful rush, my dear, but I have complete faith in you. No, this is not how it works. There is no situation where we trim red tape. We do this stuff properly. Damn it, you! I'm on the cat's side. And suddenly, I'm alone. I pick up one of the samples from the box. It looks like a miniature milk bottle, but the fluid inside is creamier than milk. I retrieved the compounds from the cabinet that the professor wanted me to test and spend some time combining them with the sample. From what I can tell, the compounds are some kind of organic material, but no one has told me where they came from or what they actually are. I look at them under the microscope, one by one, and add a little bit of the sample. It's a bit like glue, so it's hard to get it to combine, but once I do, something odd happens. The dead cells that make up the compounds start to move excitedly. They aren't coming back to life exactly, but they are behaving like living cells. I have no idea what this stuff is, or its intended use, but I do know that I feel uncomfortable applying it to live subjects. I look at the cats in their cages. They look back at me with trusting eyes. Well, I'm not doing it. Nope. No, I'm not going to do it. If the professor continues to withhold information, then I think it's only right that I put the responsibility back on him. He can carry out this procedure himself. I send Purr-ty a message from my catalogue. Professor, I feel I cannot continue my task today until I understand the implications of what it is I'm being asked to do to the cats. I don't get a reply right away. Eventually, the catalogue beeps. Professor Purr-ty has replied. Oh dear, that's disappointing. I'd be happy to comply if you could just give me a little more information. If you really are having such difficulties in carrying out your duties, perhaps it would be best for me to find someone who is better equipped. Well, I mean, he's going to shoot me in a minute anyway, isn't he? I'm afraid I may lose my job if I don't administer the sample. No, I'm refusing. I feel the implicit threat. I'm sorry you see it that way, sir. I love my job here, but this oversteps a personal boundary. Collect your things. You can catch the boat in the morning. I still can't quite believe what happened, and that I'm really heading home already. I went to see the professor in his tent last night to discuss our difference of opinion. I was hoping to straighten things out so that I could continue working here, but he wasn't there, and I received a curt message from him asking that I be on the boat first thing in the morning. So here I am, heading to the jetty where the boat is waiting for me. I feel very alone in the morning mist. No one to wave me off. Oh well, it's too late for regrets now. I shall focus on the excitement of returning to my old life. Strange even, after such a short time, I can't seem to remember much about my life before. Joe, the ferryman's son, takes my bag and helps me onto the boat. That was quick. You drink all the boss's whiskey or something? Something. He looks at me suspiciously. Must be bad then. Playing with the cats instead of working? Let's just go, shall we? I can't wait to get home. Yeah, you don't get answers, Joe. You didn't answer any of my questions. That's how this works. And where would that be? Huh? Home. You do know where your home is, don't you? Don't be daft. But for some reason, my mind won't focus, and I can't seem to remember. Where then? It's... Don't worry, you just sit there for a minute. Dad? The older man comes out of the cabin and joins us on the deck. Got a problem here, son? I reckon so. This one can't even remember their own name. Damn! Are they gonna kill me before I even made it out on the boat this time? What? Yes, I can. It's, Before I can answer, the older man has pulled what looks like a gun from his coat and is aiming it at me. Also, Snooty, are you not going to come say goodbye? Rude. It's not personal, Andrew. We just have to take precautions. Can't have any problems reaching the mainland now, can we? Aww. Well. Yay, we unlocked something. Cool. Well, yay, look at that! Successful dates! But yeah, we didn't do well there. We successfully did romance Snooty, which I'm very pleased about. But we got sacked, we got shot, we didn't complete the research, from the looks of it, as it's the wrong colour. So I kind of feel like we may have slacked a little on the antidote, as yeah, it now says 40%. So maybe we were supposed to inject the cats? I don't know. I still believe that there's a conspiracy here, and we shouldn't have injected them. So I stand firm in my decision. With that, thank you so much for watching. Join us again next time if you'd like, and if you want to, leave a like on the video or subscribe to the channel. That would be magnificent. Until then, goodbye!